Mark, I've just seen your hand and I've given you permission to record, so you should be fine now. Is there anybody else that is struggling with it? If you can just raise your hand or drop us a message in the chat.
Okay, I think we've got everybody. So a couple of house rules. We're going to stay everything under embargo until the press conference is finished. So no live tweeting throughout, please. If you've got a question, just raise your hand using the Zoom, using the app on Zoom to raise your hand, and we'll come to you for a question. And please remember that this press conference, we've got a lot to get through, and try to keep this about the partnership. If you've got questions about anything wider than the partnership, then make a request for one-on-one interviews, and Roger and I will consider them.
Sorry, James, I didn't realize it was on TV before. Sorry. All good?
No,
all good?
Yeah.
Is the lighting okay or not?
It's good. It's good.
Because okay. It's not really clear, like Paraag. It's a bit blurry. It's a bit blurry here.
Honestly, it's good. Okay, so we're going to start with Adam Pope at BBC Leeds. So without further ado, I will introduce you to our chairman, Andrea Radrizzani, and our new vice chairman, Paraag.
Congratulations, gentlemen. I think it's the first time we've had a chance to speak since promotion. So well done on achieving that particular goal. Investment is always exciting. Andrea, can I start with you, please? Firstly, is this money ring-fenced for capital projects, or is it more working capital to keep the club going?
Part of the money will be keep the club going. Obviously, the investment we have done this summer and the last year were very heavily for the company. But I think it gives us a bit of stability to the club itself. And it's something was already planned for a while. I mean, since we have met with Paraag and Jed, we always wanted to give some time to know each other better, to establish a strong relationship, and then eventually make this partnership bigger. And I think Leeds United, as I mentioned, is already an important project for both, but it's also a part of a bigger picture where, as 49ers and Acer Ventures, my holding company, are both active in investment in technology and sports assets. So it could be possible even that Leeds United is not the last one. We will look at other opportunity, maybe even not only in football, but could be in other sports, in esports. At the moment, we are exploring different structure, different chances for us. But I think today we need to focus our attention to this amazing opportunity that together Acer and 49ers wants to build on with the club, with Leeds United. I think Leeds, with my first initial investment 4 years ago, I started a new journey. We went over the first phase to be promoted. Now it's extremely important to stay in the Premier League. And together with the support of our friends from San Francisco, we have more opportunities to support the club in a league where not only the investment in players is important, but is at the same level important the revenue that you can bring to the club. So we need to close the gap with the top clubs, that they make much more money, more revenues, and therefore they have more opportunity in the transfer market than us. So we need to establish a strong management and support them together to generate more revenue. And the club itself has this opportunity, but we need to stay in Premier League for 2-3 years.
And one for the new vice chairman, Paraag, please. Paraag, with congratulations on the new role. Is any of this money going in towards buying Elland Road at all? Will we see this money in bricks and mortar? Will you have a stake in the football ground going forward?
Thank you, Adam. I think we're not necessarily sharing a lot of the deep details of it, or the intricate details of the deal. But what I can tell you is even more important and more valuable than just the money itself is about the level of partnership that we'll be engaging in even deeper now. So, and this isn't just about myself, but it's about all of our executives and team at the 49ers. We've done a lot of work over the last decade, 2 decades, in transforming the 49ers and building a new stadium in Levi Stadium. And we've built up a lot of experience and expertise. And that's precisely we want to go and lend that assistance to our counterparts at Leeds. And yes, Elland Road absolutely is something that I just said earlier. One of the things that we want to do is do things to improve and modernize the experience, whether it be via hospitality or premium and whatever we do, while maintaining the aura and magic of the stadium itself. Because the one thing that you have to continue to respect is the 100-year-old tradition of that stadium is something that you want to continue and to capture. So yeah, we're going to help at Elland Road. We're going to help at the club wherever we can help our counterparts. Yeah,
because Andrea and Angus have talked at length about the great plans that go on, not just at Elland Road, but around Elland Road as well. But as an investment arm, Paraag, it has to, I'm trying to think, what is your motivation for putting what we understand maybe accurately or not fit up to £50 million into Leeds? Is it into Leeds as a club, or is it into bricks and mortar? If you see what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's into everything, Adam. And I'll tell you, the answer is easy, and that's because what's something that all of you have spent a lot of your careers realizing yourselves, and for me, it's only 3 or 4 years realizing, and that is that this is a powerful club with a remarkable history that has such strong bones to be one of the most recognizable brands in all of the world in global football, and just waiting for the opportunity to get promoted to the Premier League. It's almost, I just said this earlier, it was like a dormant kinetic energy that was just waiting to come out of the ground when we got promoted. And you see that manifested as soon as we got promoted. You see that how much we are talked about in social media, how much passion the club plays with. You see that in how many times we're playing in primetime matches on Sky. This is clearly a club that belongs, and this is just the beginning of a long journey. This isn't just about a quick fix. This is about building something that outlasts, honestly, that outlasts mine and Andrea's careers. We hope this is something that today marks the beginning of what we see 20, 30, 40 years from now as Leeds matriculates to being one of the best and most powerful clubs in the world.
And is it a new share issue as such, Paraag, or are you buying shares off that exist already, if you like, from Andrea, or is it a new share issue to do this?
No, we're doing it together, and so this is just this is the same group and the same same shares, and we're part of this together.
And thank you, Paraag. And Andrea, going forward, I mean, how this investment, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong or not, I understand the Times are reported up to £50 million. If that is accurate, how do you see this taking Leeds to the next level? Where will it lead?
It's something more. It's something more, but I don't think it's about the level of investment done at the moment that changed the life of Leeds United. And it doesn't really matter, to be honest, the number in percentage we have now, 63-37, it could be 60-40, it could be 50-50, maybe soon again. It doesn't really matter, because what matters is that we are happy, we are working well together, and we have a clear common goal together. So we are here for long, and no one of the two wants to speculate on the deal of the valuation of Leeds United, but both of us, we know that we have a timeline of 5-7 years to build something that become relevant in the world of football, and that's what we want for Leeds. So as you remember, when I started, I said I would like to be promoted within 5 years. We made it. So if you make me reverse the same question at the moment for the new cycle, I can visualize 5-7 years to be where I want to be with a potential new stadium. I mean, new Elland Road, to explain me better, and modernized facilities, and around these facilities we have a lot of real estate opportunities. So we want to build a modern club. We are still far away to be a modern club. We brought different activities that make the club fresh and modern, from the training to other area, but we still have a lot to do on e-commerce, merchandising, in media, which should be my expertise, but we are still really far from what I want. So on the football side, where we focus our energy and our investment, we have achieved a decent result, but obviously we know that the squad is not ready to be next to the top 6. So the next 3 years being the Premier League, we need to adjust gradually and try to build up every year a little step. further. So we are really see the things together. That's why we are partner, and we are happy to work on this together.
James, you're still muted.
Embarrassing. Graham Smith, why you pick?
Andrea, how are you going to close the gap on the big teams? You know, Angus was talking about the revenue that Spurs can bring in thanks to their stadium. How are you going to close that gap?
With the top six is almost impossible, but we need to be just next to them. So we need to be in the range of club like Everton, West Ham, Aston Villa. So the club that they can challenge the top six, but they are just a line below, because that's our positioning over the time. If we are good enough to manage this club well on the technical side and bring more revenues. So we need to double our revenue in three to 5 years. That's necessary, and hopefully build a new stadium that can bring bigger revenue and give solidity to the club. I think I always give the same example, but I love what Leicester has done over the past 10 years since he's in the Premier League. That's what I aim as a model to follow, but knowing that we have a much stronger base in terms of brand and popularity, which can bring much more revenue than Leicester outside of the domestic market in terms of sponsorship and in terms of licensing, merchandising, e-commerce. So we are bombarded of requested already that we cannot satisfy. We're still not structured as a Premier League club to satisfy the request and opportunity of business that we have every day. So when we will be, I think will be easier to close the gap.
And Paraag, can you give us any insight into what your day-to-day involvement will be and how perhaps it will change now since the new investment?
Yeah, certainly, Graham. I think it's not just about me. It's about all of our key executives at the 49ers, both on the commercial side and on the football side, honestly. It's about lending expertise wherever we can. Certainly, by no means are we thinking we come in and have all the answers. We're here to support. We're here to support Andrea, Victor, Angus, Coach Bielsa. We're here to support wherever we can. The good thing is we have a lot of experience. You know, as I said earlier, we've gone through some pretty major transformations at the 49ers, and there's a lot that we've learned over that time, and there's a lot of expertise and sort of toolkits and blueprints that we can share across the pond. And so that's really what this is about. And so I can't tell you necessarily whether it's going to be X days per month or whatever, but I can tell you we will certainly be a much more regular presence at Thorpe Arch and Elland Road, and not just myself, but many of us at the 49ers.
Parag, I think I made it clear. You cannot make the lineup here. Eh? It's not like NFL, okay?
Hey, Phil Hay.
Good evening, gents. Thanks for taking the time to speak. Paraag, just to follow up on that last question, in practical terms, how will the operations overlap between the 49ers and Leeds? What is it specifically that the 49ers can do for Leeds in terms of day-to-day operations?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I can give you a couple examples that come this is just off the top of my mind. So, for example, even on the commercial side, as we put together a hospitality plan around Levi's Stadium with our premium offering, with our general and food and beverage, and there's a lot that we do here in American sport that we could potentially help here over in London or over in the UK with Elland Road. So that's just one example of however we try to modernize the stadium from an experiential standpoint while keeping its history. Another example is we've done a lot of work on the e-commerce side at the 49ers in making sure that when people want to buy 49ers gear, whether it's around San Francisco or around the world, it's the access to the inventory is readily available. And that's something that we can certainly help the club help Leeds with as well from an e-commerce standpoint, because the truth is we have a global fan base. Our fan base isn't just limited to Yorkshire, it's around the world. It's all over the US as well. And so those are two areas where I could just, as an example, things that we've already done and things that we've done over the last decade that we can immediately come in and help. And not that the folks at Leeds don't have the expertise and experience to do it. But this is the first year in the Premier League, right? They were built and structured as a championship club for a number of years, as Andrea talked about. We don't have all the right personnel and structure yet. And now to be able to almost instantly augment that structure with 49ers resources, that sort of catapults us to having the Premier League infrastructure that's needed.
Well, somebody has to ask this, so I will. Now that you're up to 37% of shares, do you envisage a day where 49ers Enterprises will be majority shareholder at Leeds, or will own the club outright?
No, I envision a day where we continue to grow as a club and experience more success together as partners. That's this. I can't underscore that enough. In that, the first piece of this is how much we admired and respected Andrea's leadership and vision. That's the first part of this, and a connection and friendship was formed first, and then as we learned more about Leeds, it was about doing this together. That's what's really important, and it doesn't matter. Andrea said this before. It doesn't matter whether it's 63-37, 60-40, 50. It doesn't matter. It's about accomplishing success together as partners.
And if I can just throw one to Andrea. Angus always said that in terms of stadium development, it would need to be dependent on promotion and then the feeling that you had a strong foothold in the Premier League. Do you feel at this stage that the club are now ready to push on with stadium development? Is that something you can think about seriously in the short term?
Phil, firstly, I would have answered differently than Paraag to the last question, that to make me tired, it takes a long time. So maybe one day when I'm tired, I give up. And I would be happy to give Paraag the driving position more than anyone else, but it takes some time before I get tired. I'm still young and ambitious, but no. And I love, to be honest, I love the what Leeds make me experience with the promotion, and the joy I brought to this fans is unique in my life. So I know it takes responsibility and could be stressful in other times, but I'm not tired. I'm still really far to be tired. But let's say sometimes football change quickly. At the moment, I'm very happy and stable. However, the second question about the stadium, I think it's in our plan, and this is connected to the previous answer. My dream, and I think I share the same dream with Paraag, is to live one of these European nights in a new stadium with Leeds United. So until I accomplish this dream, you will see me around again for long. So. But I am also realistic that to achieve that level, we need to be smart, consistent, coherent, and rational in the decision. So even now that everyone could be excited, this means tomorrow we buy a player. Unfortunately, not, because the club is already very exposed financially with an investment that we've done this summer, with being the 6th biggest club in investing for over 100 million. So we, as a good custodian of the club, we need to respect the numbers, and we need to be rational. So if in the moment we are confirmed in the Premier League for next season, we can open to more opportunities. Today, that moment is not that there yet. So we know that we are 12 in the league. We have 23 points. Probably we will need 40 to be in the Premier League next year, but we're not there yet. We need to earn every point before we can reach that point and then make a new plan.
Afternoon, gentlemen. Just a question to Paraag. The 49ers and some of the football clubs that Andreas has talked about have been able to expand by moving to new stadiums. How important is it for you? How important is it for you that everything's based around Elland Road as a historic venue? And just to Andrea as well, you mentioned about the top 6 being out of reach. How concerned are you in the longer term, if we have a European Super League, that gap will become even harder to bridge? So,
well, to clarify about Elland Road, I think before then, at least 2-3 years, we cannot even concretely move on that. And we need to be permanent in Premier League for the next 2-3 seasons. And then eventually we can start to think, because it's a project that requires a big investment. So we need to be able to finance that and be solid enough and stable in the Premier League. So it has a certain condition before we can kick it off. In the meantime, we can arrange some renovation in and there, partial renovation. Sorry, the other part was
about the top 6 and whether you worry.
I mean, the journey to be there is still long. I think, as I said before, I give myself 5 to 7 years to see the Leeds United I dream. It's a lot of micro achievement to achieve that project, that goal, because it's also a club that comes from the championship. In 2-3 years need to enter a new cycle and gradually change the skin. No? So it's like a snake that changed the skin and become new again. So the club that reached the Premier League needs to do this transition in 2-3 years, maintaining the foundation that he has. That's why we didn't change 11 players, but we know also that gradually we need to reach that. And it's very important how we bring up players from the academy and integrate that in the context. That's why we invest also in good players last summer from the under 23 that is performing well. So it's all the system, and this is linked to also the leader, in this case Bielsa, but we don't know yet how long Bielsa will stay, and eventually when will come the moment that he will leave, how we manage that transition again. So it's all linked together in a puzzle, and it's our ability from the top to guide this change transition and make sure that everything is coherent with the final goal.
But
snake that changes its skin. That was good. Did you come up with that on your own just now?
Yeah, just now.
That was creative.
But do you worry in the longer term, Andrea? If you say the top 6 is unreachable now, it sounds realistic. But do you worry that if we do have a European Super League, that that it might become even harder to bridge that gap over a long time?
No, I mean, sports is not only about money, but obviously the Super League project is another argument, which is very complicated, that I don't want to take it at the moment. Today is we're talking about Leeds and the 49ers, but for sure, if we have good ideas, strong talent in the management, we will be competitive, and that's where we have shown in the last 3 years. I think to be promoted from Championship is very difficult. We have invested a lot, but less than many others. And I think we have achieved because we have been coherent with our project in every circumstances, in every moment. So even when everybody doubt about. So we need to continue to be consistent with our idea and only change when these ideas really are with evidence not good enough.
Okay, Joe Mewis, Leeds Live.
Hi, yeah, thanks for taking the time out, guys. Andrea, you've spoken previously about lots of parties being interested in investing. What was it about Paraag and 49ers that have made you commit to this partnership here?
My good looks?
Yeah. No, well, first of all, the relationship that we have developed. So I didn't go out to look for investor in the club. I've been approached by many. I only select few friends, and I mean, everybody knows I spoke to my friend from Qatar and my friend from San Francisco, and no one else. And I can list at least, I could make a list of at least 20, 25 parties that approach over the last 2 years to enter Leeds United. Always reject, decline, never spend time and energy with anyone, because I was not here to speculate a deal. I'm here to build something. So I want to build with the people I can trust and I can work together well. So, and Paraag and Jed and the rest of the team has shown me a lot of commitment in every game, emotionally, but also in terms of investment, in terms of action, and being part of the family with us. And we share really the same values, and I think we can work well together.
Brilliant. And Paraag, how closely have you followed what other American sports franchises have done in the Premier League? Obviously, sort of Fulham, Manchester United, Fenway at Liverpool. What lessons have you been able to learn what they've done?
Yeah, I mean, definitely have followed what other clubs, or I'm sorry, what our American counterparts have done in investment in and across Europe. And I would say that a couple things that I think that work well, obviously, one is, as I've talked about, is where you really dive in and can lend experience and operations expertise to help grow the sister club. And actually even a cross sharing, right? It also works both ways. There's things that we can learn at the 49ers that our friends at Leeds can help us with. So that works both ways. I would say the biggest thing that I've learned that has been that I didn't need to necessarily do anything different because I'm already so passionate about it. But the biggest thing is you have to care. You have to have passion. You can't view this as just a business opportunity, an economic commercial opportunity. You have to care. You know, there's a certain amount. There's a great deal of respect and with great humility that I take this role right now, because I feel like I'm just a steward for all of our supporters, you guys included. That this is everybody's club. This isn't our club and Andrea's club. This is everybody's club. And I just feel a great deal of responsibility to help guide it towards success, you know, with Andrea's leadership. And so the one thing that I've seen that maybe doesn't work as well is when people have a little bit of an emotional detachment from the club that they're investing in, and they view it purely as a place to park money or to make an investment. You have to care. Anything that you do and anything that you want to build, you have to have passion. If you don't have passion, don't put $1 into it.
Okay, Mark Walker, PA.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Andrea, your first major target when you arrived at Leeds was to get the club promoted. You talk about getting closer to the top 6. In terms of league stature, what's the next target? When you mention your dream of European football, would it be fair to say that the next target is Champions League?
Well, no, I think it would be fair to say 3 years to try to be around the Europa League or in those places. Yes, I think we need to go gradually. And the realistic goal could be in 3-4 years to be in a Europa League Cup. That's what we need to work for above the promotion.
Thank you.
Is that everything from you, Mark?
Yes, thank you.
Lovely. Paul Sims, son.
Hi there, can you hear me okay? Yeah, hi chaps, congratulations on today. What do you say to the Leeds United supporters? I mean, we've talked a lot about the club, but what do you say to the supporters? Do you need to manage their expectations to a certain degree? Because this is very exciting for everyone involved. That's obviously for both Paraag and Andrea.
Paraag,
sure. Yeah, sure. This is, I think I just said this a little bit earlier, Paul, and that is that this is, in many ways, this is the supporters club, and we're here as stewards of the club, and we take on that with a great deal of responsibility. And you know, supporters should have expectations, and that's, you know, they care. That's what makes this club special. And that's what makes, like I talked about earlier, with the kinetic energy that our supporter base has. I wouldn't. This is about growing together as one, and I feel like this is just one step of the journey. By no means have we arrived, and by no means are we at the end. How fast we grow and on what trajectory, that remains to be seen. But we're going to do it with a tremendous amount of passion and thoughtfulness in how we build this together. But to the supporters, I hope they continue to have confidence in our ability to grow together, and look at what Andrea's done. Just for a track record standpoint, look at what he's done in just the 3.5 years that he's owned the club, and getting this club back to where it hadn't been in almost 2 decades. And that's the path that we want to continue to be on. And that's both on and off the pitch, because we try to modernize the club across the board as an organization, and give something that our supporters continue to be proud of.
Yeah, I think the supporters should be already very pleased and proud with the achievement we have done and the way we play football, which is very exciting and something to be proud. I know we have also had some bumps, ups and downs this season, but it's a learning process. So I think it's something also we need to digest and take into the account, because we're coming from a different level. Sometimes we play with 7, 8, 10, even sometimes 10 players that they were in the championship. So the gap is big, the level is different, and they are working very hard to compete we are competing, and we need to. I know it's hard to lose, and especially to lose badly like we did in Manchester, but we need to take this into the account as a part of the process. And we will learn from this. We will become more mature. Our player will go. The average of our team is one of the youngest in the Premier League. If I don't remember wrong, is around 25.7. So we have all the elements to continue to grow and add value on the foundation that we built over the last 2 years. So that's what we need to keep in mind. I know it's easy to get excited after a win or after a news of an investment, but we have a plan, and it would be a big mistake if we get excited. We need to try to stay rational and continue our gradual path growth on our journey.
Yeah, I understand that completely, and it's all about, I guess, managing expectations to a certain degree. But at the same time, this is football. And you mentioned Leicester. You talk about the blueprint that Leicester have managed to put together, where they are now, that they won the league a few years ago. It's hard not to dare to dream, isn't it?
Well, I think we need to work hard and invest rationally and be smart. And then we take everything better come above our plan. But we need to be realistic in our ambition. We can promise what we can achieve.
Simon Evans?
Hi, thanks for this. It's been interesting to listen to what you've been saying about the club and so on. I do want to just go back to that question. I know you didn't want to go into the Super League thing, Andrea, but you are talking about building long-term plans, European football. I mean, it's last week people are talking about creating a structure that would be designed, it seems, for the Leicester model not to work anymore. You know, that's certainly what the critics are saying.
Simon, that's
no, leave it. It's okay. I think the domestic league has a value that is extremely important because is the what generate resources for all the pyramid in football from all the professional football benefit from the value of the top league. I think the Premier League did a fantastic, a wonderful job in the way they've been creating value for this league, becoming the best league in the world. And I think all the clubs and the entire domestic football need to defend and preserve this value. So it's something it's not in my authority and to be involved in this decision, but what I can say is that we need to be very careful to don't damage something that became so important and recognize the best league in the world.
Bob Williams?
Yeah, hi. Excuse me. Hi, Andrea. You mentioned in the New York Times article today that you're interested in expanding your portfolio in terms of potentially having more soccer clubs in Europe. Can you expand on that in terms of what countries you're thinking in, what level these clubs are, how many clubs? And Paraag, is this something that you're looking to potentially participate in?
I think we are going to explore. Actually, we're already exploring this for the last few months or more. In Europe, both of our organization and together, we've been looking at opportunities at different levels in different countries. At the moment, we haven't decided anything. We don't have a clear idea. We are learning. We are understanding what is available, which opportunity, what integrate better with Leeds United to support the growth of Leeds United. The integration could be at any level, could be in different countries or a different level. Both could bring different benefit. Could be a sports and football benefit, or it could be a commercial benefit. There are pros and cons on different opportunities. So in this moment, really, I don't have an answer of which country or which club, but we are actively exploring. We are analyzing what is available and which condition. And also, to be fair, in this moment, it wasn't our priority. Our priority today is consolidate Leeds United. Then over the next months, if Leeds United stay in the Premier League, as I hope and I believe, we and the 49ers, Acer, my group, and the 49ers have the deal they consider strategic, they might go for it. In this moment, there is nothing concrete.
Yeah, and I'll just add that I don't know what the future holds. I don't know what we may or may not do next. You know, what I do know is this. What I do know is that we enjoy each other's company quite a bit. And what I do know is that I think we feel we have very complementary skill sets, and we have a great deal of collective experience between Andrea and his team at Acer and us at the 49ers. And I know that the most important task and the one that we are prioritizing and want to focus on is Leeds. And what we do next, I'm not sure. I just know that I feel like we have a really great team together and a great partnership.
Okay, I don't think we have any more questions. So I think that will conclude everything. So thanks very much for your time, everybody. And speak soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Thank you, Parag.
Talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you, James. Thank you, Jordan.
See you, Andrea.
Cheers to everybody. Stuart, Adam. Bye-bye.
Yeah.